power is. So those
Yeah.
signs, I know what you're trying to do with your anxiety, but you're not gonna, it's not effective in my opinion in these environments because no one wants to read any sign on the wall when they're in the middle of a sex club and it's dark and it's erotic. And it's a bit turn off to see the word herpes, things like that listed. I think you need to keep it sexy and less clinical because these guys aren't coming to go and do your fantasy jigsaw puzzle thingy. They're coming to a sex club to participate in some way, and you're going to be inviting them to participate, but you have to make it inviting, not so scary, in my opinion, right? And that's what I mean about supply chain issues.
It's a cock or a tongue. That's it. I don't want fingers. I don't want
Interesting, eh? So no
dildos.
fingers. Make sure you let people know that they don't. Otherwise, because some guys will instinctively go for fingers. So you
Why
might
when it's supposed to be their piss?
doesn't know. You can't assume anything. You got to let them know that their dick and there with condom is
Well, thank you for saying that.
Oh yes, so they will fumble around there and be like, do, no, stop. And we don't want to hurt and shame people because they're just trying to do something. So we need to prepare them for success. Right.
I didn't think of the condoms. I just figured because the club has
You gotta bring a whole bucket, like
Okay.
you need to bring them yourself, or you will have the biggest like workflow issue you've ever seen with, oh, was I supposed to do something first? Yes, sir, you were. Like in my head, I'm trying to be kind, but I'm like, it's your only job is to wrap your dick first. So yes, if you want a smoother experience, you should be prepared with those things beside you. Like
that's great info. Like I didn't even think of that. What was interesting is there was 2 times where I knew the room was full and my ass was up in the air and no one's approaching. I don't think I would have got the 50 even if there'd been 100 guys there, just from now having that experience of being in the room where everyone's standing around gawking and talking and then affecting other people's initiative to want to come up, get hard.
In a way, but it's, I think for me, my perspective on it is, I think they're more human than we think they are in terms of what they need to have arousal. And having just a woman who doesn't want to know who they are, sit there and wait for them to come and you know, that is some people's fantasy, right? But for some people, they need to feel invited. They need to feel really, and like, for example, Brad, like he wanted the intimacy, and I don't know how he defined it, but I think that they just need more human connection and more touch than we expect.
And what is that a reflection of? Pornography desensitizing men.
And us women too, because we just thought they're going to be like ready, hard, delivering. Right?
Well, I mean, because we, you know, when we think DTF, we think horn dogs ready to go, right? So, but then it's interesting because then for that guy that needs that more intimacy or intimate connection, then why are you going to DTF? Like DTF would not be the place I would think tonight's going to be the intimate night of connection, you know?
Well, Brad's done gangbangs before and had a good time. But there was a woman who at least wanted to know his name and let him like touch her boob. So for him, that was enough.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Yeah, that's what I mean is the level of intimacy might not be a lot, but it was a bit more than just a glory hole essentially experience.
Yeah.
Right. But again, we have an idea in our minds, right, of how things are going to be. And that's why I come in to like pop people's little expectation balloons about fantasy specifically, is because they can go well if you manage these things and plan around them.
Hey, I was just spit roasted. I'm like, FFF, spit roasted, Renaissance list, squirted on, Renaissance list.
Look at you.
Yeah. So I was just like, woohoo. Whoever has a room full of people like hoot and hollering as like you're having some guy drill you to fucking China, having the biggest orgasm of your fucking life. Like it was fucking hilarious.
With the party hat on.
Yes, that's right. With the party hat on. As cute as the idea was a cock log, it's not realistic.
Just to pause for a second. When I started this, I had signs. I had a fucking whiteboard. Okay. I had to learn this the hard way. So that's why I see your ambition and initiative. And I wish it translated as it should in another industry, another workflow, right? But I had to be the one that took my sign home, right? So I was like, okay, don't read my sign. It's fine. It's not fine, but it's fine. So that's why I come at this. It's not like I knew better. I learned better.
You know, like a couple of bumps in the road, like I said, that I wasn't expecting. I had a great night, like no regrets whatsoever. None, not one regret.
That's
so especially as a woman, I say to any woman, go for it. Like, this is your body. This is your voice. This is your power. Own it. You want this fantasy. Let's make this fantasy happen. Don't let anyone, like you say, poop on your parade or make you second guess yourself or make you feel bad about yourself.
You're going to have to tune in to Sex and Swinging with Toronto Unicorn podcast episode 50 to hear all about Steph's 50 cock train goal for her 50th birthday, available everywhere you get your podcasts.